Well, folks, I threw up the blowing it up and keeping it real video to open this one up today. I'm just gonna talk to you guys straight. So first off, we had Memorial Day yesterday. For those of you that paid service, right? For those of you that served, thank you so much. For the families of those that paid the ultimate price, I sure hope that Memorial Day held a special place for you this year, and that worked well. Now we at my house, we had a couple of friends over and had a nice meal and got some things done around the house yesterday, but also had a work day, and part of that work day was hiring somebody. Now, this is going to sound a little bit weird, right? Because I tell people, hey, we're a full service agency. We can do all kinds of things for you. But I feel like a little bit of transparency is actually in order, okay? So when I'm talking to a client, when I'm talking to a customer, and I'm doing a needs assessment with them, and they're telling me about their business, or I am seeing some feedback from their customers, from a marketing perspective, we're all over it, right? We're like, okay, so as your consultant, X, Y, Z, boom, this point leads to this point, leads to this point. Here's the email funnel train. Here's the social media links. We get it. We totally get it. Now here's the weird part. Have you ever noticed when you're trying to promote yourself, it's hard. It's really hard. Now, for some people are narcissists, and it's not hard. For some people, they're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And I get it. You might see me make a lot of lives. You might see me on 3, 4, 5 podcasts a week. You might see me all over the place. But at the end of the day, I want you to ask yourself, when Kurt's interviewing somebody, is Kurt promoting himself, or is he promoting the person he's interviewing? That is an important thing to consider, because I want to be as truthful and as honest and as transparent as I can be here, because I really feel like this segment's going to help some people. This segment today, this one, this is what's going to help some people. The interviews I do, I'm interviewing somebody else. I'm putting somebody else in the spotlight. When I interview people on the WP Tonic show, me and Jonathan, we are interviewing somebody else. We're putting somebody else in the spotlight. Typically on the Membership Machine show, we're not even promoting our own work. We're looking at someone else's products, and we're doing product reviews of somebody else's product. So I want to be super clear. In my mind, I'm promoting myself because, I'm putting myself in a position of authority. I'm putting myself in a position of leadership. I'm putting myself in a, not necessarily look at me, look what a genius I am, but I'm saying, hey, I'm associated with all these geniuses. And since I'm associated with all these geniuses, there must be a certain element of genius about me. Come do business with me. But at no point does it say, come do business with me. This is very important. So I want you to stick with me on this. Okay. Another thing, if you followed me for years, you're going to know, you know already, I have redone the Mañana No Mas website 6 or 7 times in 10 years, right? 10 years, 12 years, whatever we want to say. I mean, it's been a business since 2008, right? So we've redone the website 6, 7 times. And when I say redone the website, we have redone the website. It's not like, oh, we tweaked the homepage. No, it's like we have remade the entire website. We've changed page builders, we've changed themes, we've changed. At one point, Mañana No Mas looked like a newspaper website. You'd go in and there would just be tons of blog content, and it wasn't selling you anything. And I literally had people come to me and they go, man, I love your website. I love your lives. I love your podcasts. I got no idea what you sell. And so we morphed over time, and we came up with what we thought was a good plan for sales. And we started putting in here hey, we do hosting. We help people starting new companies launch their companies. We do a lot of enterprise level e-learning projects. And so we would put that out there on the website, but it was never in your face. It's never we are the experts in enterprise e-learning. We convert people from overpriced SCORM websites to WordPress. We save you money and give you a better product. That's what the stupid page needs to say, right? Like, we solve your headache, we make things easy, we lower your budget and give you a better product. Like, all the way around, that's what it needed to say, but that's not what it said. So, something very interesting happened because this has been a frustration for me, especially, and like I say, it's very difficult for me to speak or to promote or to so I want you to bear with me in this episode because I honestly I'm going to struggle a little bit here. If it was for a client, man, I could hold the banner high and shout from the rooftops. But because it's reflecting our own work, there's a part of me that feels like this is braggadocious or this is arrogant or this is conceited. And that's not the goal today. The goal is to educate, to show you where I'm at. So the title of this is like self-promotion is hard. Self-promotion is very hard. And so hire somebody. Hire somebody. I want to tell you a little story. I got an email last week, and the email was so I get pitched all the time. All the time. Like my LinkedIn's full of spam. Hey, would you like us to redesign your website? Would you like us to redesign your website? Would you like us to redesign your website? No, I'm an agency for crying out loud. Duh, I build my own website. So those I ignore. Last week, I got an email from somebody, and it was detailed. It was like, hey, please bear with me. I went down the rabbit trail, and I did a deep dive on your website, and I have some things I noticed that I think might help you. And then it goes on for like 6 or 7 paragraphs about all of the things they saw on my website and why, this is important, why they believe, I swear the flu's gone, but the cough never left. All right, let me go, I'm reset, here we go. So they sent me this document. In this document is all these paragraphs about everything that they think is wrong with my website. And here's what I notice. As the guy that owns the website and owns the business, they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. Like, to be honest, they're really on the money. Like they're nailing it, right? Now, was AI in charge of this audit? Maybe. Hey, James. James is with us today, folks. James, stick with me on this one. I think you're going to like this episode. I'm really throwing it out there. I'm really putting it out there. So keep in mind, this was a cold email. I don't know who this guy is, right? I decided to answer him back because they did a detailed review of my website. And I thought, well, if AI wrote this review, he at least knows how to prompt AI. Like everything in there is right. And so I get on a call with this guy. Again, don't know him from anybody, right? And he's from out of country. He's got an accent. Okay. So all of us steadfast Americans are going to be like, oh, I can't be sending all my work to XYZ. Look, folks, we got to go with what's going to drive success. And so unlike what I do on these lives, usually I'm going to go ahead and add the scene here. And here's my website. Okay. This is the Mañana No Mas website. So he says right here, right from the very beginning, my headline says, from day one launch to enterprise learning ecosystems. Okay. I thought that was brilliant. Turns out he says, I don't think that's very brilliant at all because you're not addressing the startup or the enterprise e-learning customer. You are, in fact, let's get rid of this because this is a distraction. There we go. He says you're not really going after one or the other. You're kind of trying to pitch to both in the opening sentence. And he says, an enterprise level e-learning client is probably worth 10 or 15 startup clients in terms of budget, revenue, margin, all those things. He's absolutely correct. Who do I want to focus on? I want to focus on enterprise learning projects. I say it all the time, but I didn't put it in writing, did I? You've probably heard me say it 10, 15 times if you listen to my lives, but you didn't see it here. So if you didn't see it here, if you were visiting my website, why would you think that that's my primary sale? Why would you think I primarily want to focus on enterprise level learning websites? You wouldn't think that. Okay, so then we go down a little bit again. Trusted by brands and partners. And I got Suzuki, Ducati, Lifter LMS, the Power Sport Academy, and the WP Minute. He did the research. He was like, so for the WP Minute, you're on the Agency Action Show, and they put you out as an expert on running agencies. And he's like, the Power Sport Academy, right? So you're attached to the Power Sport Academy, and that's like the #1 training source for motorcycle dealerships in the country. Lifter LMS. I'm a registered expert with Lifter LMS. I also work with them directly. He knew all that. Like, I got on the call and he knew all that. We actually had that discussion. He said, you made the website for Ducati. You took them from a highly, highly costly, expensive training system, and you put them on an open source, training program, and you made the website successful, right? I trained 166 dealerships in the North American region on a website that was separate from the Ducati factory website. So he was aware of that. And then, of course, the work that I did with publications and training for Suzuki. Suzuki, as a company, is like 6 or 7 times bigger than Ducati, right? Well, and I say that, but it's like automotive, motorcycle, marine, globally. So, yeah, I mean, it's 100 times bigger than Ducati, right? And so he's like, here's the problem, okay? And again, this is the review with the guy, okay? The guy. He says, you have this up here, Suzuki, Ducati, Lifter LMS, Power Sport Academy, WP Minute. He says, that doesn't make any sense to somebody that's coming down from the top of the page, because at the top of the page, it's like, we help startups and e-learning people, right? And he says, so if the first thing a startup sees is that you worked with Suzuki and Ducati, they're going to assume they can't afford to work with you. He's like, so you're already driving them away. Now, what we're talking about here, folks, is we're not talking about, let me see if I can change this. Okay, what we're talking about here is not what I do or how I express myself. I mean, that is what we're talking about a little bit. But what we're talking about is how the web page will convert. If you have a website, if you're a business, and I know this because I run an agency and I do it for clients, this is the part I'm telling you. This is the part I'm being very transparent about. If I can do it for clients, how come I can't do it for myself? Because mentally, self-promotion is very hard. Self-promotion is very difficult. And when you're involved in your own project at such a deep, integrated level, it's very difficult to see your project the way outside eyes are going to see your project. So a lot of things to you might seem like matter of fact. It's kind of like when I'm an agency and I'm talking to clients and I go, oh, we should put this at the top and this at the bottom because this is the order of information to how people are going to want to see it. And they go, oh, I never thought of it that way. Okay, they didn't think of it that way because they're in the weeds, right? They're in the business. They're integrated into their own business, just like I'm integrated into my business. And so I bring in a fresh set of eyes and he says, hey, this is in the wrong place. Like, you're trying to promote these big names here, but these big names are out of place because you haven't even talked about what you sell yet. So he's like, so we probably need to put what you're selling first. And he says, it's cool that you used an AI version of a superhero, but it needs to be a picture of you. Like, so I have a picture of me right here at the top, but I probably need to have a picture or a video from me that describes, and this is a very important thing, the story about where Mañana No Mas came from. That story is a great story. It's a great story. It's not on my website. The story about how Mañana No Mas came to be, the driving vision and mission that Mañana No Mas has had since 2008 it's not on the page. It's not on the homepage. People want to know who they're doing business with. And right now, they think they're doing business with a cartoon, okay? So, or with AI, right? And people that know me deep inside, they know that I use AI, but I don't leverage AI as my business model, okay? And so then we're talking about rapid deployment. Well, if it's an enterprise level e-learning client, they're not so concerned usually with rapid deployment. What they're concerned with is stability, right? They want to know that this is stable. They want to know that the foundation has been laid. They want to know that the content, interweaves in a certain way with certificates and notifications and reporting and all those things. Rapid deployment, realistically, they're expecting this to be 9 months to a year. We can knock it out in 3 months to 6 months, right? Typically. But that's not their primary concern, but that's what I put here. And why did I put that there? I put it there because, well, for startups, you want to do discovery, you want to build or migrate their website, you want to train them and launch them, and then you want to manage their growth, right? That's like a startup message. So this startup message needs to be on our page that's specifically for startups, not on our home page. So enterprise packages is a little bit of the same, right? But then we start thinking about it, and he says, train and launch. No, you're probably going to manage it. Like, it's an enterprise level account, so you're going to manage it. They don't want to manage anything. They want an e-learning website, and they want an agency that's going to take care of it. So this whole message is wrong. And so we start going into these things, and we start looking at it, and so he goes through the website with me, and he says, here's the home page. This is what's wrong with the home page and why it's costing you sales. Then he says, let's go over to the enterprise page. And so I have an enterprise page, right? And so what we do, enterprise development. And so we go into this page right here for enterprise development. And it says agency results without the agency headaches. I'll pull this back up over the big screen. Here we go. And he points out something very interesting. Now, again, my head's in the weeds, right? I'm like, I want to match that image. So that image over on the home page, right? Discovery, proposal, review. So I'm thinking like in steps. And I list out like the first 3 paragraphs, right? This is what discovery is, the proposal process, the review process. And then there's our 4-step process, view our methodology, our process-driven agency. Okay? Nothing on this page addresses what I took for granted. Just being honest with you. What does this page need to have? This page needs to have the pain points of an enterprise learning system. It needs to say, hey, are you tired of not being able to get timely support with your SCORM packages? Are you, what's downtime or surge, right? So if you're hosting the website with somebody, if you're a enterprise level e-learning client, chances are you have surge in use, right? Surge in use. So you might have 300 active users and nobody uses the website for 2 months, right? So bandwidth is really low. The website's just sitting there. And then you have an instructor that says, okay, everybody needs to sign in Wednesday at 10 o'clock. All of a sudden, poof, right? Well, you need hosting that can take care of that. You need hosting that can deal with that. Pardon me. And a lot of basic hosting can. And so customers in the enterprise framework want that to be understood. Like if that's a pain point, you want to address it. There's just certain things that should be on this page that are not on this page. So I'm talking about a process-driven agency. Maybe that goes into terms and conditions or something, right? Maybe that goes into something like that, but it doesn't belong here, right? And so here is what should be the pain points of being an enterprise level customer and how we fix those pain points. And so maybe a couple of case studies, right? Maybe a Suzuki case study, maybe a Ducati case study, maybe a Prestige Family Offices case study. But that it would be what would make that really sing. Now we have website as a subscription as a product, and we have the Easy Button program. Our Easy Button program is like a templated launch system for startups. It's very, very simple, very, very easy. And when we look at how that is written, how that is done, do I have it? Maybe I need to click it again. Here we go. There we go. Now it's coming up. So if we take a look at how that works, and again, I'm just talking about the copy. So the copywriting that drives the customer away, that creates a bounce. So the Easy Button with Mañana No Mas, we have use case, process, budget, and time. Our Easy Button process, apparently my spacing here has gotten all out of wonk, so I got to fix that. And then customers. He was very specific. He said, you have a lot of great testimonials. And we do. Such a big help. Works perfectly. Persistence paid off. Thank you for this and your help today. You're amazing and very patient. Thank you, Manana. You rock, right? If we take a look at these that I have, they all say I'm a great guy. They all say I'm nice. They all say I'm patient. They all say, they all say what I don't need it to say. Okay, what do I need these testimonials to say? These testimonials. Let's get rid of that and let's put this other thing back up. All right, boom. So, what do these testimonials need to say? These testimonials need to say, this is why I was afraid to hire an agency. This is what Kurt did, right? So it needs to say, this was my biggest fear in hiring an agency, and this is how Mañana No Mas overcame it. This was the biggest problem in my business, and the website helped me overcome it in this way. Like, it needs to be problem and solution focused, not Kurt's a nice guy. Like, I'm thrilled that people think I'm a nice guy. I'm thrilled that people like to work with me. I feel amazing. I get nice emails all the time. I got an email from a client 2 weeks ago. I told you this on a live. He said he was trying to explain to his wife how I was able to take years of his hard work and within 10 days make it a reality. Put it on a website and make it a reality. And he said he was emotional because it's a legacy project for this gentleman. And he's like, this is going to be here after I pass away. It makes me teary-eyed. I'm trying to explain it to my wife how important it is, but it's hard to explain, right? And yes, it is hard to explain. So at the beginning of this, James says, it sounded better in my head. And then we have someone from LinkedIn that just says hello. So this is good. Let's see, what's James got here? It says the difference between selling truth versus truth. Yeah, and I see that's why you say that sounds better in your head. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me, James. Maybe. So, and whoever's here anonymously from LinkedIn, you are very, very welcome to be here. Here's the thing, and it's the title that I put on the video today. And I got to get going fairly soon. I got to do a thing for Lifter LMS today. But self-promotion is very, very difficult. You have to be able to take yourself out of your situation. You need to be able to see what the customer sees first time in. I think about the stuff I do with the power sport training, right? So I go visit dealerships and I teach them how to grow their business. And I'll pull up and I'll take pictures of the parking lot, pictures of the building, pictures of the signage, pictures of the showroom, pictures of the service department, pictures of the parts room. And people might think, why is he taking all these pictures? Because a picture tells 1,000 words. When I do this and then I write a report, right? So I'll write a report and I'll say the parking lot was dirty. There was a broken trailer in the corner of the parking lot. Because they work there every day. They don't even see it anymore, right? Like, we're incredibly adaptable and we can adjust to things as people. But new people come into the dealership. So you're new, right? You're new to town. You're like, oh, we got to buy a UTV. We got to get a UTV for the farm. And you go to the local dealership and you go to pull in the parking lot and your car hits a pothole coming in over the curb, right? So you go up the driveway, over the curb, boom, you hit a pothole, and then you zip around, to the corner. You look, oh, there's a trailer with a missing wheel, right? Leaning over funny. And then you look at the dealership and you go, I don't want to buy anything here, right? The dealership is inside saying, gosh, I wonder why it's been so slow lately. Well, it's been so slow lately because you got a giant hole in your parking lot and you got broken trailers that everybody sees, right? So that's what I'm talking about with the website. Unless the stream is set to public. Okay, I got some message here from EV Mux, but I'm not sure what it says. LinkedIn user, someone's being very nice to me. Kurt's intelligent and offers amazing value, and his approach to site building is solid. Man, thank you. Thank you. That's nice to hear, nice to see. But here's the thing. When I look at the testimonials on the page, Kurt's nice, Kurt's patient, nothing says, here's the problem, here's how Kurt fixed it. Here's the problem, here's how Kurt fixed it. When you go to the Mañana No Mas website, it doesn't say, you're an enterprise level learning client, this is your guy. It doesn't say it. It's right there. And so the person that I brought onto the team to help me with this, and I think that's a safe way to say it, right? So here's where I go. When I said self-promotion is hard, hire someone. Newsflash, I hired somebody. Hired them yesterday. You're going to see some changes in the Mañana No Mas website. They are going through the website and they are giving me, I've already taken stuff off the site. Like I got up this morning and I was like, he's 100% right. I got to take that off of there. Like I had social media. I had a list on my menu that said social proof. And then it brought in, it didn't send you to YouTube, but it had a list of all the YouTube videos and you could click and watch all the YouTube videos. It had a Facebook thing and you could see all the posts in my business Facebook. It had I think it had Instagram in there too, right? I don't know, do the gram. Anyway, it had all that stuff on there. Run, Adam, run. Adam, I love you, son. I love you. I like your weather report from the porch. Beautiful porch, by the way. Beautiful. You live in a wonderful piece of the world. So anyway, self-promotion's hard. A lot of people have a very difficult time in trying to pimp themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some narcissists. I know some great narcissists. Like I'm friends with them and they have no problem whatsoever saying, look at what a genius I am. I built these amazing things and you need to have these things too. But a lot of people that are wired in a more normal way, just going to say it, really struggle with how to effectively promote themselves. And as I went through the review of the website with this cold email individual, I'm telling you, cold email individual, he was pointing out like, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this, and this is what I would do, this is what I would do, this is what I would do. And I was thinking to myself, I could record this call and I could just do it myself. I don't even need to pay this guy. That to me is not ethical. I'm going to be honest with you. People have done that with me. People have taken, the 30-minute call that Mañana No Mas offers. If you go to Mañana No Mas and you book me, you get me on a call for 30 minutes. People have done that and they've asked me a ton of questions and then I never hear from them again. Why? Because they're going to try and take my expertise and they're going to try and leverage it themselves. And I think we all know what's going to happen. They're going to fail, right? Because they don't understand the intricacies of what they asked me. They don't understand what's required to make that successful. I do. That's why I am successful, right? Been doing this for decades. So I can't teach you 2 decades of experience in a 30-minute phone call. So you ask me some questions, I answer the questions, I try to sell you, and then you go, nah, I'm out. Okay, fine, whatever, you're gone. Okay. I didn't want to do the same thing to this guy. This guy did the work. He did the rabbit trail. He went and looked at things in detail on my website. He looked at my LinkedIn page. He understood my Kurt Von Ahnen page. And so, newsflash for those of you that are my clients, if this goes well, so what I said was, I told him, I said, hey, how much does this cost? Going to be honest with you, it was more than I expected, especially from the part of the world that he's in. I was like, that's a little more than I thought it was going to be. And then I was just honest with him. I said, look, sometimes people ask me how much something's going to cost to like make a new e-learning platform for them. And I'll shoot them the cost, And sometimes people think it's a little higher than they expected. But that's how much it costs. I'm the expert, that's what it's worth. And I told him, I said, if you truly believe you're the expert and you can demonstrate it, I'm going to pay it. Like I said, it's a little more than I thought it was going to be. I want to be honest with you. It's a little more than I thought it was going to be. But let's go ahead and do this. And let's do the home page first. He's charging me per page. So I said, let's do the home page first. And let's look at it 30 and 60 days in, and let's take a look at and see if, because I have that new Conversion Bridge plugin that's going to tell me exactly what people are clicking on, what things are getting people to, what kind of hotspot the website, if you will, right? Going to let me know what's working, what's not working. So if we go through and we change this home page and my conversions go up or the quality of my leads goes up, and by quality of leads, I'm not saying, people that wear button-down shirts versus people that wear t-shirts. That's not what I'm saying. By quality of leads, am I bidding on $60,000, $80,000, $90,000 proposals, or am I still bidding on $12,000 and $18,000 proposals? If I start bidding just a consistent $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 gigs, then I know that the website is driving the audience in the right way. Okay, I'm getting a reminder. Pardon me, getting a reminder here that I got to go in a minute. So here's my thing. I started this today, and I'm giving you too many details in the call. I wanted to be truthful. I wanted to be transparent. I wanted to warn you that if you're a customer and you come to Mañana No Mas, you're going to start to see some changes in the messaging. If I were to write this stuff myself, I would struggle with it. I would think it was pompous, it was arrogant, or maybe I won't. Maybe he'll give me the content and I'll put it in there. I go, oh, that reads perfect, right? But here's the deal. As a business, not as Kurt Von Onen, as a business, Mañana No Mas needs to put its best foot forward. I need people to come to the Mañana No Mas website, mañananomas.com. I need people to come to mañananomas.com, see the headline and go, I got to read more. I need them to read the first paragraph and go, that makes sense, right? I need them to see the picture of Kurt and the story of how Mañana No Mas was built, the vision and the mission, and why Mañana No Mas is what it is and what's the driving energy of why. For instance, how many people know this? Since 2008, when I changed the name to Mañana No Mas, we have never missed a deadline or asked a customer for more money. Never, right? Obviously, if the customer says, hey, I want to add 6 new things to the project, we have a discussion about, a scope of work change, right? So that'll happen. But when we quote the job, if the job stays the same, we do not miss deadlines and we do not come back asking for more money. And from my understanding, that's pretty rare in the agency world, okay? So we're very focused on that. And so this gentleman that I hired, his name is Hassan. Hassan is going to build this into the homepage. And it might be a little difficult for me to put it forward, but we're going to put it forward and then we're going to watch it. We're gonna track the SEO. We're gonna start leveraging enterprise e-learning and WordPress as our main keywords, and we're gonna drive this thing forward. If Hassan's work does what I'm hoping it does to the Mañana No Mas website, Hassan's gonna become part of the team. But when I say become part of the team, that means we're gonna redo the Power Sport Academy. He's gonna help me with the Pedal Academy. He's gonna help me with WP Agency Academy. Are you seeing a trend here? So pretty soon, we are going to be a hosting house of multiple academies that are successfully bringing people in past the headline, getting them to a conversion, and getting them within these memberships and learning groups. So, folks, stick with me. It's going to be fun. I can't encourage you enough. Promoting yourself is hard. Promoting yourself is very hard. And if you are similar to me, if you are struggling in how to promote yourself properly, and I don't think I could be more transparent here. I do this for customers very successfully. Can't stress this enough. I do this for customers very successfully, but for myself, it has been a struggle. Okay? Just being very honest. For myself, it's been a struggle. So if you also struggle with self-promotion, if self-promotion is one of those things like you wrote it down, you thought you nailed it, and it doesn't really work. You think the work is good, but it's not converting. You think you got the right paragraph, but no one's reading it, right? You know this, you know it, right? For some reason, the stuff you're writing about yourself, it's just not hitting. If that's the case, hire somebody. I'm spending more than I wanted to spend. But you know what? At the end of the day, if this product does what it's supposed to do, the return on investment is going to be immense. Our April at Mañana No Mas, our April was almost what our 2025 was. I'm just going to be honest with you. And so if we could keep that trend going, if we could duplicate that month over month over month over month, the face of Mañana No Mas will completely change in terms of the size of the team and the work that we do. So, yeah, do I sound excited? Of course I'm excited. Adam, Run Adam Run. So runadam.run, for those of you that don't understand, that was a website. Runadam.run. He is a big in the running field. Also a WordPress professional. James Lau is also a WordPress professional. James is up in the Northeast, up in the New England states. Works a lot with nonprofits and stuff like that. If you've got a nonprofit gig, I encourage you to reach out to James Lau. Super fantastic guy, super fantastic. Him and I converse a lot on post status. We enjoy talking there. Folks, I'm going to wrap this up today. I've got a gig we're going to do with Lifter LMS today. Lifter LMS is version 10.0. It is a big deal. We've got a big thing we're doing today live on the internet. I encourage you to come to that. It's going to be going live, I think, at like 11, I think. And we're going to talk about all the things. We're going to talk about focus mode. We're going to be talking about the events. We're going to be talking about there's a change in groups. It's just crazy. There's so many good changes in Lifter LMS right now. And the competition in the WordPress space for e-learning hasn't been adding any new features, right? And so Lifter LMS has just been pounding out new features. And so we're doing a thing today to kind of get people up to speed on it. Abandoned cart, like, come on now. So there's an abandoned cart feature that comes with every version of using the Lifter LMS payment gateway now has an abandoned cart feature that you can activate. Like, who knew that? Well, everyone's going to know it after today. Folks, I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you with Lifter LMS in a bit. Bye-bye.